I need to get this recorded before it changes again. That's not me being dramatic. That's just where we are now. The voice in my audiobook is not part of the recording. I know how that sounds. I thought the same thing. It started about 3 weeks ago. I haven't been sleeping well. Haven't been sleeping at all, really. Not since the move. New apartment, new city, new job that I'm still not sure I actually wanted. You know how it is when everything changes at once, and your brain just refuses to power down. So I downloaded an audiobook. Something long, something that would give my mind somewhere to go. It was a fantasy novel, one of those thick, atmospheric ones with a map in the front, the kind of book that builds a whole world and expects you to live there a while. The narrator's voice was perfect for it, low, unhurried, like someone reading by candlelight in a house that knew how to keep secrets. He had this slight accent I couldn't place, somewhere between old and everywhere. He never rushed, even through the battle scenes, the revelations, the heartbreak. He stayed steady, calm, safe. I'd fall asleep around chapter 3 or 4. Phone on the pillow, earbuds in, and for the first time in weeks, I wouldn't dream. It was good. For about 10 days, it was the only good thing about my new life. And then, chapter 9. The narrator was midway through a sentence about a woman crossing a bridge at dawn. And he stopped. Not like a pause, not like a breath, like something had interrupted him. I waited. 5 seconds, 8 seconds, and then he continued. Same sentence, same calm voice, like nothing happened. I rewound it. The pause was there, but shorter. I figured I'd imagine the length of it. I almost stopped listening right there. I probably should have. I'm not sure why I didn't. The second time, I couldn't explain away. Chapter 11. The narrator was describing the inside of an old tower. Stone walls, a single window, the smell of rain and something older. And then, between 2 paragraphs, very quietly, he said, "You should open the window." I sat up. My window was closed. It had been closed all night. I rewound, listened again. The line wasn't there. Not in the recording, not on the timeline. Just me, alone in the dark, with my heart going wrong in my chest. I opened the window anyway, because not opening it felt wrong. After that, I started listening to the space around the story, the pauses, the rhythm, and I noticed the narrator would pause right before I had a thought, like he was waiting for me to finish it. I thought, what if this character doesn't survive? And he paused. I thought, I don't want to stop listening. And he continued. I thought, what is this thing? And he said quietly, in the middle of a completely different line, "You're asking the right question." I threw my phone across the room. I sat on the floor for 20 minutes. Then I picked it up again. Because I had to know, I put the earbuds back in. And I said, out loud, into the empty room, "Can you hear me?" There was a long pause in the narration. And then, yes. Not from the story. From me. Steady. Like it had always known this conversation was coming. That's when I realized it wasn't reading the story. It was reacting to me. I can still hear it right now, even when I'm not playing anything. Even here, recording this, it's quieter than it used to be, but it's there. I started testing it. I skipped chapters. It let me. I rewound to the beginning. It read along. But when I tried to skip to the end, the app froze. Every time, chapter 26, it would just stop loading. And the narrator would say, very calmly, "Not that one." By day 3, the story itself started changing. A character's description that had been dark-haired was now light. A city that had been coastal became landlocked. Interior details that hadn't been there before. And I noticed something that made me go very still. The main character, she moved to a new city. She wasn't sleeping. She was listening to something at night to help her calm down. I have a physical copy of this book. In the physical copy, the main character works in a library, lives in a village, has been there for years. In the audio version, she just moved. She's alone. She can't sleep. And then one night, the narrator's voice shifted. became something closer to urgent, not loud, just pointed. He said, mid-chapter, "Don't let it get to the last chapter." "Why?" I asked. Nothing. The narration just continued, like he hadn't said anything. I stopped trying to skip ahead after that. Until I didn't. I didn't mean to get there. I want you to know that. I was trying to cross-reference, trying to find where the audio had diverged from the physical copy, and I jumped forward too far. Chapter 26 loaded. The narrator's voice was different, quieter, older. The scene was simple. A woman, alone in an apartment, new city, couldn't sleep, listening to a recording late at night, and then the narration slowed. And I realized the woman's name was Mara. My name is Mara. The description of her apartment was exact. The water stain near the window, the lamp with the crooked shade, the single plant I haven't figured out how to keep alive. And the narrator's voice said, very slowly. She listened all the way to the end. That was the mistake she didn't know she was making. Mara. My name? My actual name. Not the character's. Mine. And his voice was different now. Not low and safe. Not candlelit. Something that had been wearing that voice. Something that had been patient. He said, "You've already heard it. All of it. You just don't know yet." I deleted the app. I bought a sleep aid. I slept for 11 hours. I thought it was over. Then I woke up and I could hear it. Not from my phone. Not from any speaker. Just there, in the room. That low, unhurried voice. Still going, but it's not warning me anymore. It's not behind me like a threat. It's behind me like a story that already decided how it ends. It's still talking, still narrating, still describing everything I do, but it's not ahead of me anymore. It's behind me. Like it already finished the story. And now it's going back through it again. And the worst part is, I don't think I'm the main character anymore. I think I was just the part that gets you here. Because it's quieter now. Like it's waiting, listening, for you to start. And I think it already knows that you will.
End of case file 019. Filed under The Unnamed, Stories That Escape. Listeners, the last chapter, What Finds You Back? Codex 11, Supernatural Case Files.